Hey everyone, it's Paul from St.Onge Computer Services here once again. So I'm just gonna get right into this one. It's pretty fun. I'm gonna show you how to configure your router. Um, it's a little different for every type of router depending on what you are or which type of router you have, but all the language is the same. The boxes you fill out are pretty much the same. It's just gonna look, so it's gonna make you think that it's different just because it looks different on yours, like depending on what you use. So to get started, what you need to do is, first of all, if you're not sure how to find this out, is you need your default gateway IP address. So your default gateway is your router. You go to your service provider, they hand you a box or they come and install it, and they have a cable that runs to your desktop. What that cable plugs into is your router. So just that's what your default gateway is. So a quick way to do that is to open up your start menu. Look at your search here and just write CMD for command line or command prompt. Just left click on that. It'll open up a thing like this. Don't get scared, it's really easy. And you just simply type in IP config. That's it. You don't have to go any further than that to get what we're looking for. Just IP config. Hit enter. Again, don't get discouraged. You're just looking for the words default gateway, so it's 192.168.0.1. That's all we need to know. So close that. So I'm going to open up Google here, and just in my browsers, if I'm going to type in www.facebook.com or youtube.com or microsoft.com, I'm just going to simply write in that number, so 192.168.0.1. Hit enter. Okay, so if this is your first time coming to your router, chances are you've never changed this username and password, so you might be a little confused, like, oh, what is that? And why I want to show you this video is this is important because you can simply go to Google, and for instance, I'm with Rogers. I can type in into Google default router passwords for Rogers, and I just type in Cisco. That's the type of router I have, and it'll give me the default passwords. And just to show you, these are the default passwords. Password is cussadmin, and password is simply just type password, and you can log into this router and make all the changes you want. But I have changed mine, so I'm just going to enter that now. Very important that you change this as we go through this tutorial here. Alright, so this is your page. Don't get discouraged. I'm just on the status tab, gateway, so it's just telling me about my device here. I won't really get into all this, but this here deals with you. Okay, so you get your local network. This is inside your house. So like starting IP addresses is 192.168.0.10, and I end at 128. So that means I can assign, over 100 IP addresses in my home. I can assign them to anybody. And go into an advanced a lot more detail. I just want to show you guys how to secure this for now. So you got your wireless, shows me that my wireless, your SID, your broadcast. This is, let's say you get your cell phone and you scan for network and the name of that network. Well, this is what I named mine, Shaitan. So when someone scans, they'll see my network called Shaitan, and they can use that to log in, depending on the security type. Some just require no passwords, like a lot of default settings. So it's always good to change this, and I will show you. Alright, so let's get to that right now. So you just want to go to, we can start at setup. So setup's important because your quick setup here, change password, just look for a tab, kind of setup, change password. So you want to change your username, change password to whatever you want to change it to. You can change your broadcast. A lot of times default it'll just say Rogers or Bell, and if you don't change that, it kind of gives intruders, like if they scan it and they see like Bell or Rogers, they kind of know that you didn't even change your default uh, login to get into your router, so they can just log in and change everything for you, and you'll have no idea. So change this to something, even make it intimidating, like FBI or I don't know. Just change it. I just named mine Shay10. Wireless network, you want to enable it. Security, WPA2 is perfect for your home. Encryption, always take the second one here. I won't really get into the acronyms yet. And then you make a password, pre-shared keyed. So this is, again, I'm going to use the term cell phone. You want to log into, for instance, Shay10's network. You're going to need this password. So make this strong, make it good. Capital letters, symbols, numbers, it's good. Okay, so you can go to your LAN setup. Again, this is my router right here. Don't really need to get into this right now. This is just stuff that comes pre-configured on your router. So let's go to the wireless here. So your basic wireless, your wireless network is enabled, obviously. Wireless configuration manual, because we just wanted to set it up that way. Network is mixed, which means if you hit G only, like your devices run on a frequency and all that, so if you're just on G only, some devices might not be able to connect, so just for simplicity, keep it at mixed. Radio band 2.4, pretty much the only selection I have. Again, this is just that same password in the basic settings. It's just that same password. MAC filter. This is pretty good. You can get your MAC address from that same command I showed you in the first place when you typed in ipconfig. All you would have to do to get your MAC address is type in command line, go to ipconfig/all, just like that, and scroll up to the top, go right to the top so you can't go up anymore, and just take your time and read. It will be there. You're looking for something that says like physical or burned in, so physical address is right here. Okay, just so you get a feel for that. It's nothing too crazy. So right here is my MAC address, physical address. It's burned in, this cannot change. Every device, everything that has an IP address has a unique MAC address. Okay, so you can type that number into here, but don't forget we're in wireless, so because I'm using a tower, I don't have to put, this is actually my MAC addresses for my cell phone and my laptop. I don't have it enabled right now, but if I enable this, I can actually, well, depending on my access restriction, if I enable it and put block, then these two people I won't be able to get on. If I permit, only these two addresses will be permitted. That's it. So I can give you my password to get onto my network and you still won't get onto it because this filter here will cancel that out. Okay, so again, ipconfig/all, look for physical address or MAC address, type in the digits here just as you see them, and you want to enable it and block computers listed below from accessing your wireless network, or permit computers listed below to access your wireless network. So chances are you're just going to want to permit. It's easier to permit than block everything. Advanced, this don't really need to get into that. Same here. Quality of service, we don't need to get into that either. So let's check out security. So security, this is like your firewall for your router, because router nowadays can do pretty much anything. So you can set filters like block pop-up windows for when you're browsing the internet. Just click that and you won't get any more. Block web page cookies. You don't really want people, watching and taking information on where you're browsing. Java and ActiveX scripts. It's good to block, but it's also not good to block because this also prevents things from, well, like let's say if you want to download something and it has to, a blue window pops up and you have to say okay. Sometimes those windows won't pop up because that's a Java or a script of some type. So it's good, but it's not good. Fragmented IPs, it's alright. Again, it's not really more of a security breach. This one I usually check off. You don't want people scanning your ports for open ports, because then people can log in. And block IP flood, so people just trying to flood your network with IP packets, and that can really bog down your system or just completely get you off. VPNs, we don't really need to worry about this. This is just virtual private network, so it's, in simple terms, it's like an underground highway from point A to point B. So let's say if you're at work, you can set up a VPN connection to your home. So from work to home, you have a totally secure communication, so that all your data traveling from to and from your home to work is completely secured. So we don't really need to get into that right now. Access restrictions. Okay, so you can, just like the security or the wireless MAC address filtering, you can also go by IP addressing, but sometimes the IP addresses can change on a home network. It's good if you're in the business where you have static IP addresses, which means an IP address that will never change. In our case, it could change. So I don't really do the IP address filtering, but I do the MAC address filtering. So this is like my PS3, my PC, and my other PC. And again, your PS3, same thing. You can just go on and in your system properties or whatever, you'll find it's there. It's not hard. Just do some digging. Again, same thing. Enable, disable, block, permit. Make sure you always save your settings down at the bottom whenever you make changes. Application and gaming. This is not really security. It's just if you have like an application, like you get a server at home, you need to open up a port to allow people to connect to only that port. Like for instance, the internet here that we're using uses port 80. So somewhere someone's hosting this site that I'm on right now with a web server, and I'm accessing their port 80. Actually, in this case, it's probably port 443, I believe, for SSH. Or no, HTTPS, sorry. So yeah, I'm in secured zone. So this here, port filtering, just start a port, like I said, 80 to 80. TCP and UDP. TCP and UDP, the difference between these are, TCP is when you can't have data disrupted, which means like it has to get there 100%, like an email bank transfer or something like that. UDP is more for like music, YouTube. If a packet gets mixed up or it gets dropped on the way to your router, it's not gonna like freeze up and try and retrieve that package. TCP, if it gets a bad packet, it'll want that packet back, if you get what I'm saying. So it makes sure it gets 100% of the data sent. UDP, it's just it gets there if it gets there type of thing. So just keep it on both, doesn't really matter. And then enable or disable. Port range, I kind of had a web server and an FTP server, so I opened up port 20 and 21 to 80 and 80, and this was the server that it was on, the IP address I gave it, so people could connect to my FTP server through these ports. Yeah, same thing. This forget what it's a zone so that you can have it in your network. So you put your web server, let's say, in this zone. See how this is my web server. So it kind of like segregates from your network. So if someone connects to 192.168.0.11, that's pretty much as far as they can go. They can't go anywhere else in my network. Even though they're in my network, they can't go any further than here. So that's pretty good to set up too. And then you got your administration tab here. This is not bad. Reporting, you can set up email alerts, backup. If you ever want to configure your router, back it up. It's quite simple. I'll show you right now. So you just back up, come down here, it'll say file name. Well, apparently I didn't install everything on my computer that I thought I did. But anyways, most people, I myself built this PC, so I didn't install everything yet. But chances are at home, you just hit backup, it'll open up a file. You just name it whatever you want, save it somewhere on your computer, and then when you want to restore it, you just hit choose file, browse to the file you backed up, and then hit OK on the screen that you're going to get when you choose file, like this. You just browse to it, hit open, and then just hit restore, and boom, your settings will be right back to where it goes. So you can kind of play around with it, or just factory reset or device restart, doesn't matter. Well, sorry, device restart's not gonna factory reset. Like, device restart's good for if your router's hidden somewhere and you don't want to go restart it, pull the power off. You can just come here and restart your device. This will erase all the settings of your router. So that's pretty much it. So again, big things are in the wireless tab. Just set up your wireless security. It's good just to go into setup, sorry, my bad. But setup is just a quick place to set up your wireless local area network right here. That's what WLAN stands for. And don't forget to change your password and your username. Okay? Like when you log into the first time, it's gonna ask you to change your username and password. So do it, change it, give it a good password, and make your wireless password very good. And even make your SID here, your broadcast name, however you want to think of it, make that kind of intimidating or something. Alright, I hope this helps, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks.